really preferred the way it was before, honestly.
Well,
Hi,
haircuts always take a few days or a week to get back into something medium, don't they?
No, it's not what I mean. I mean with
Oh.
fucking YouTube. Being able
Oh.
to see and test our audio before the
Ah,
audience
yes.
does. You know what I'm saying? Hey guys, let's see. We got 37 people here already. Awesome. 44 likes. Awesome. It's a great way to start.
It is. As we're talking about those pesky Romulans, you know, do their odd things all around.
Yes. Joel on true to you all.
Let the Jatvash not make your day worse.
Yeah. The shot.
It's amazing. It's amazing how many fake words we've had to learn over the years, isn't it?
The Kawat Malat.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. There are more Remans than Romulans, says Matt Deckard. I mean, probably. But they're not important.
I wouldn't think... Yes, in the abstract, but if Romulans went out into the colonies and had babies, Remans are the slave race that stayed on Remus. So, no, if you include the Romulan sex system, probably, but not if you... Otherwise, Romulans all over the Empire. We never know how big the Empire is, but... Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah!
All right.
Simon Davis, glad to catch you guys live. We're going Destination Star Trek this year. Stuart.
Probably not. I mean, maybe.
Is anybody?
Might be on track.
That's the real question. Because I mean, the UK will be fine by then, but it doesn't mean other countries to get actors in will be okay by then. Because how many actors are going to want to come into the UK and spend 2 weeks waiting in a hotel, not getting paid, and not with their family, to then do a 3-day event, to then go home and wait however long. So it's not just us. Every country's got to get back on its feet before we can do conventions again, or at least America and the US, or America and UK. We'll be fine by then, but doesn't mean, it's like Australia's fine now, but doesn't mean they can travel. So,
Well, not a bad account. $2. Lieutenant Savick, half Romulan, half Vulcan, all Starfleet.
I was questioned by this about halves, and was like, yeah, but why pick a half and half when there's so many full Romulans?
Yeah.
Was my only logic.
She never even crossed my mind for this, to be honest, because I didn't consider her a Romulan.
Maybe we should top 10 Saviks. Who will be our number 1, number 2, and
I think we're getting to the point where we can do top 10 Spocks. How many Spocks did we have in Star Trek 3 alone?
We have joked about that. We actually have joked about that before. Yeah, no, absolutely. And no, I think you're right. I think we actually could do. There has been 10. I think there must be. Although I think you'd have to include Nimoy as like 3 Nimoys. I think that'd be fair. Like TOS Nimoy, movies Nimoy, and then JJ Nimoy.
Yeah.
Because they are kind of different performances. Because he's 50 years older during them. That's a bit of a cop out, but they are also different performances. So it'd be kind of like, and then Ethan Peck would be young Spock, and then you got middle-aged Spock, and then you got old Spock, and you got real old Spock.
It's a lot of Spocks.
A dime a Spock.
Well, guys, hit that like button
yes!
if you haven't already. Let's get those likes up. And hopefully this will be a good, fun live. Lots of Romulans to go through and talk about.
And unlike the Klingon one, where there were some obvious winners, I don't think there's necessarily obvious winners this week. And I'm really hoping to see some big differences in our lists, because when I started researching, it really is personal opinion. I think a lot of these guys, it's who resonates with you for what reason and where to order them. I had a very hard time ordering them. Did you manage to order them
I did too.
as well, or are they kind of roughly?
Did I say that to start? No.
Look, we've just started. I'm allowed to ask.
I'll always tell you beforehand. If
Okay.
it's ordered.
Well, now I know.
If I don't say anything, it's ordered. No, I've got 13 actually, so I got like 3 honorable mentions. So.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my honorable mentions, I guarantee will be on your list, and I know why they're on your list.
Okay.
I'm just gonna call it now. I'll jump all over it as soon as you announce it.
Okay.
I know why. Not a band account, $2. Captain Tomalak. No SOB story. He's devious and loves it. Well, he's Commander Tomalak, but because Commander in the Romulan Navy is Captain.
Yes.
Sub-Commander is Commander. Just how it works. So, Commanders are captains in the Romulan structure.
Which is nice. I like they've got a different structure. Gives them a bit more uniqueness. I still don't think I necessarily buy the shoulder pads, but that's just me.
Yeah.
At least the makeup's always pretty good. If the costumes, I mean, I think the costume designs are good. They're just a little bit based on their time. Like I'd love to see the TNG one like stripped down to its bare essentials, and without the shoulder pads. I think it would look better.
Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, €5. Just watched the Mars rover landing. As did I, which is awesome. That's a very militaristic haircut, Captain. Need one myself. Dinatra is one of the hottest Romulans. It's the haircut I usually get. I just haven't had a chance to style it today. It just came straight from the hairdresser. So,
you felt like you're channeling a bit of Drexler there, with kind of almost buzz cuttiness. Almost. I mean, because we both keep a front because we don't like the flat. Yeah. But the sides for sure.
Yeah. It's the same number I was getting. Number 3 on the sides, and then the top is.
That's a number 3. Wow.
That's number 3.
Yeah. Right.
Eugene, 500 rubles. Jolan Tru, please, no cheeky feckers.
I mean,
have to see.
Yeah, I think we're all cheeky feckers at one time or another in our lives. At least I hope we are, because it's fun.
Yeah. Jeffrey Jacobs, $2. Woot woot, a quick 50 likes on to 100. Hashtag make Jeff pay. We got 66 people here with 56 likes. That's awesome, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't, though. Let's get those numbers up.
Although, do you want to just address Chris Davies' question?
Chris Davies, explain, please, how the ranking system works. Performance, impact, longevity. Personal preferences. What we enjoy, how we're feeling the particular day we make the list.
Is it raining? Is it not?
Yeah, some things are, they're just all just what we like, and there's no real categories that we score them on and then pick the.
No,
there's no math involved.
Yeah, my 2-word answer is gut reaction.
Yeah,
this is our pure gut reaction top 10. I think we could probably easily top 10 most influential and probably agree on most of those, but this is our personal lists. This is why I don't really ever do a joint, what we were both like, try to agree who's the best, because I think we have such different opinions in a good way. Like, we want to have our own preferences.
It wouldn't be like a Trek Cultures top 10, like a Trekyards top 10, where we would just like. No,
I wouldn't really be practical so much, and that's good.
We'd end up punching each other out because we disagree.
And breaking the camera and all sorts.
Not a band account, $2. You know what I hate? Remans. Oh, they're the worst.
That's goodness. Starting strong, with the anti-Riemann sentiment. I hope we see Riemans again. I hope we do. They were so abused and mean to them. I mean.
Well, do you want to share while I talk to these fun people about what to do?
Yeah, why not? Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Bye.
2008 Trojan NBA Feck Off Cup. I hope that wasn't supposed to be Feck Off Cap, because I'll be brownie. Anyway, guys, yes, as you saw, super chats, a bunch of them there, and they are a great way to communicate with us. Let us know your thoughts. Let everybody know your thoughts that's watching, because we do read them all out, and they do get highlighted in a color. So yes, we do read all of them, and if you're able to, please consider doing it. It helps the channel, and it does get your opinion out there. Also, don't forget you can send a PayPal. The PayPal information is there's a link down below. Just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com, and let us know that you've sent a PayPal in the regular chat. The moderators will see it, and they will let us know, and we'll read your comment or question via the email for that if you choose to go the PayPal route. Another great way to get noticed if you can't super chat or don't feel like super chatting and you want to still help the channel on a monthly basis, you can join the channel. There's a join button down there beside the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that, and You'll get your name highlighted. You'll get a badge beside your name showing you how long you've been a member. A few of our members, Ozzy and Jarzia, both have hit the 1 year mark, so they got the 1 year badges beside their names, which is really cool to see. It just shows us they're a good supporter of the channel, and we really appreciate that. Great way to get your comments noticed and read. Plus, you get a whole bunch of access to cool emojis and stickers and stuff for the live chats if you do take part in those quite often. So also other ways, all the ways down below, there's a description on every video, and in that description is links to different things like Eagle Moss and Teespring Store. Teespring Store is a great way to help because you get yourself some Trekyards merchandise. If you do like Trekyards, we got some cool merchandise. I do have to say so myself. So if you are interested in any of that, since showing your love, your support that way, we'd really appreciate that as well. So lots of great ways to help us out and help yourself out as well. So we'd really appreciate you just participating any way you can. Even just joining these lives and chatting in the regular chat is important. We do read a lot of comments and questions just via the regular chat as well. So don't feel like you need to super chat. We do read the regular chat comments as well, and do mention a lot of them. So
yes, exactly.
Well, I saw you come back, so I was like,
time to wrap up. So Stuart,
yes,
you like Romulans, right?
I mean, they're all right.
Yeah. Okay. I like them especially.
Right.
Oh.
I do kind of enjoy the Romulan stories because they're kind of devious, duplicitous little dicks.
Just like. I will not finish that sentence. So,
okay. Super Coops, 2 pounds. Happy new haircut, Captain. Yes. Some restrictions have eased, so I had to go and get my haircut. It was driving me nuts.
Yes, I got mine just for Christmas, and now it's already. Yeah, I'm going to Elvis hair. I am. My hair's designed for Elvis hair. I'd fit well in that time period, I think. With my
mine was cut like early November or mid-November, and it's like, ooh, 3 months. It grew fast. I don't know why. But
look the same for a good 2 months of it though, because the way it styles it, like mine kind of gets just and poof, yours kind of goes. But Stuart, you're starting this week with your number 10. So I would love to know who your number 10 is of the best Romulans that you think today, anyway.
Danny Shields.
Danny Shields, number 10. Right. Sorry. What episode was he in?
Euros.
I'm confused. A movie or?
Yeah, he was in episode 4 of season 5 of TOS.
He's one with the blue hair, right?
Yes, he's one of the punk goth.
And wore the earmuffs.
Romulans.
Yeah. Made the ears like go higher.
Yep.
Yeah.
He puts in €5 and says, "This stream is a fake. It's a fake."
I mean,
yes.
That would be pretty elaborate if we managed to fake this live stream so far.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So
yes, I'm excited to see who you pick.
10
yes,
is a very solid sounding Romulan name. Bokra is the guy we're talking about here. And as the quote goes, Bokra, good, solid Romulan name. Yes. He's the one that befriends Geordi. Well, not really befriends. They rely on each other to
chooses not to murder.
Yeah, there you go. He's just a centurion, but a nice guy. I mean, you get to know him. You know, I like the little relationship they have back and forth. It's very similar to movies like Enemy Mine or things like that, where you have to work with the enemy, and then plus, you know, Geordi loses his vision. This guy could take advantage of that, but it kind of needs the help of the Enterprise to get back as well. So, anyway, it's getting to know the Romulans, getting to know the enemy a bit more, because, you know, the more we get to know each other and find out what we have in common, the more we're likely to not hate each other as much, and, you know, understand that our differences quickly fall away once you get to know other people. So, yeah, Bokra is my number 10. Really enjoyed, what was the episode he was in?
The Enemy.
Was it The Enemy?
I think
there
so.
You go. Yeah.
It's so simple, it's memorable.
So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's a good one. Although hard to find good pictures of him because he's always dirty. He never once cleaned up to get, you know, like you would have thought. And because I know Star Wars does this, you would have liked to have felt that all of the actors who'd come in on Star Trek would get like a press photo taken of them before they have like dodgy makeup.
I thought a lot of them did for like costuming and makeup.
Well, that's different. Those are very, but not like a full like press promo picture.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're right. That's definitely what they would do, but you can't really use those. Whereas like you think about the Star Wars books, like there's always a full body of like random extra number 43. Yeah, because like and shuffle in, yep, and shuffle in.
They did that. They did that for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. All the aliens and stuff in that. There's photos of all the aliens that you don't ever see. Like, oh, he's back there somewhere.
And those are like gold. And I think they did do that for some of the JJ stuff, because there's a visual dictionary of one of those, but it's not on the same level, which is sad because it was great. It would be great because then this guy would be like, "How's he looking full res?" etc.
Yeah. So you're right. He's always dirty, but. Anyway, it was a nice introduction to the Romulans, and they're not all assholes. They're just people, just like us.
You know what? He's definitely a lower decks candidate.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Because, I mean, there's so many are, but he's such a good one-off. You know, maybe he's like, you know, a spy for the Federation, or he, like, really likes Geordie, and so turns out he's been pen paling, like, in secret for the last 30 years. Like his mega ultra secret, so Geordie's not even told anybody. And he like, and wouldn't it be great? There's like a short where Geordie's got a bag over his head, and there's all like dramatic music, and it's like, you know, Romulus, and then he gets steps away, and they take the bag off his head, and he's at the guy's wedding. It's like, well, we can't tell you where it is. Hey, happy wedding! But it's a secret Romulan wedding. And it's like, Geordie, we've got 5 names. I'll tell you my first, second, and third level name, but not my 4th or 5th. And he's like, shut up, you're not Picard, shut up. Sorry. I'm just picturing really fun things for this guy.
But yeah. So yeah, that's my number 10.
Good number 10.
What's your number 10?
Oh. My number 10 is this guy. His name is Rickar. So, this guy, who I just googled, well, he was actually Khan's number 2 in Wrath of Khan, which is kind of great. Which doesn't look at all like that. I'm kind of amazed how different he looks. So he's a funnier one. He's the guy that took over Prometheus. So already got a slight bias there with a great episode. He's not in it that much, but he has such a unique vibe. I'd love to know how he's directed, because he's a bit of a dick. He's not sneaky in any way. He's very stilted. He's aggressive, but to his own people unnecessarily. And having thought about this list, he comes across to me as a lovely, happy accident that he got this ship. He's well underqualified for this job. He lost obviously lost his ship in the battle to get here, otherwise he would have had his own ship. And so he strikes me as like a thoroughly underqualified, lack of talent officer who's like, yeah, do this thing, ha 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 ha. And so he's so over his head. And it's I think it comes across in the episode, and so I kind of like this unique vibe of like, well, what would a lowly guy, a simple guy, get the most powerful warship in the Federation, and he has to take it home, and he fails miserably. I just like his vibe and some of his lines, and he just sells it 100% in such an odd way, but in a good way.
Yeah, and now that you've said who the actor is, it's like, yeah, it's obvious him. Like, you can see the facial structure. Like, I get a lot of them are like that. It's like, I found out that the guy that plays Pardak in Unification is actually Commodore Mendez from TOS, from the Menagerie. It's the same actor. And now that I know that, my mind's blown. I'm like, yep, it's very clearly him.
You're like, damn it, Stuart, damn it. You're it. Yeah.
It's funny because he's basically thrown into the position of having the most advanced Starfleet ship, and being on the bridge of it. Like, you know, he's just a guy doing his job. But
I'd love to have known the prequel story to this, because how the hell did he get? How did he find Prometheus? Was it an accident? Was it deliberate? Was it a secret mission? Was it not a mission? How did he because he didn't disable the ship because it's still fully functional. How did he get on board? How did he kill the crew? He obviously is very talented, or was a bloody happy accident. I would love to know that story, because it seems so random given how shit he is. You know? There's way more story than what we see. So yeah, I just think he stands out.
Yeah.
As like a weird one-off.
Yeah, well, good call.
And also unusual uniform. He's like none of the normal uniforms. They're all like got their own.
It's darker, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean Corpier, though, $5 super chat with no comment, but thank you so much. Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, throws in €2. Remember the Romulan Klingon hybrids from DS9? Oh yes.
Wait.
Danny Shields, €5.
Was that TNG? What was TNG with Worf?
It was a TNG DS9 crossover.
Yes.
That's why he's confused, because Worf goes to DS9 to get the information. So yes. Danny Shields, €5.
Mm.
I actually dyed my hair blue for a Halloween thing at the school I work at, so that's incredibly accurate for my alt universe Trek casting. Good call, Samuel. James McGill, $2. Was Star Trek 5 was only movie to have Romulans in it?
Mm-mm. There was a Roman ambassador in
Star Trek 6.
But he was also in. He was all. Oh, that was the Klingon guy. So he was in 6, and there was obviously Nemesis in 09.
Well, those don't count as the movies, though. There was a Romulan ship in Star Trek 3. So
where was it? Invisible behind the Klingon ship?
Yeah, they were towing it. It was cloaked.
That's actually quite. I thought it was quite a good joke. Actually, I was right on that. I was like, it's an obvious joke, but I was very quick on that.
And Sean Corpier, $2. Omni from a very good TOS novel. Forgot the name. Omni.
Okay.
Don't know. Sorry.
No.
Can't help you.
I know there was I know Kirk marries a Romulan in his books. And then he, gets lost, and he dies and comes back and all that stuff. But he does marry us. It's quite sweet, really. All right, your number 9, Stuart. And I do not know these, so I'm quite intrigued to see where you go.
My number 9 is Mendak. He was from Data's day. He was the captain or the commander of the ship that the spy got transferred to, and he was very flat with his delivery.
But you will listen to me.
Are you threatening me? No. You will leave. Yeah, like that. And this actor is also in that episode we were just talking about, the DNG one where Worf goes to DS9, and it's the Romulan.
Yeah.
It's the same actor
playing
a different Romulan. Because when I was watching that,
oh, he is, isn't he?
This guy seems really familiar. I looked it up. It's the same actor, but a different Romulan name. So he plays 2 Romulans, both with the same delivery. But it threw me off. But Mendak, I really like him. I just love his. Shows nothing. There's no betraying of what's behind the facade. He's doing his Romulan best.
Except a little bit of repressed rage. Like, he doesn't like these people. There's that undercurrent. Whereas Tomlock is kind of like he could hang out with Picard. This guy is like, he doesn't want to be involved. Now, I would
have liked to see more of them. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think most of them. I mean, most of the Romulans, they give at least some. I mean, they hire good character actors, obviously. Although, to be fair, though, it could be the same Romulan because we only have more than one name. So why have we 2 Romulans? There's no additional value added to that. Sorry, unless they're like twins. So yeah, what are unique? What made him stand out specifically? Because he's not even He's barely even a 1 episode. He's like a 1 scener.
I just said. I mean, I just love his delivery. I just love that very stoic, like on the bridge, like no, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to show any emotion. This is the way the situation is. Bring it. I just like that because I feel like the Romulans should be like that more often because a lot of them that we see, if you just get that first indication from them, they're very standoffish. It's like that's how they're trained. It just seems like he was just, I don't know. Just something about the character. I really like this guy. His delivery. And
he make again. You're right. It's quite a flat portrayal. I feel like he'd be a good praetor or senator. Like he would have been great to be in Nemesis, to be in like the Senate chamber and like give some other lines and be like, "Yep, he made senator. That makes sense." He's calculating,
And
that'd been good.
Yeah, interesting enough, he does have the double straps on his uniform, which would indicate a general.
Whoa.
I don't know if he's a general or a commander.
I mean, I can imagine he was sent for.
It does say he was a Romulan admiral.
Wow.
But it just.
Damn.
Yeah, it looks good on him,
Didn't even notice that. That's cool. I mean, he was there not only to do a public peace treaty with the Federation, but also a secret mission. So of course, he's going to pick one of your better agents, because that's a lot of pressure. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, what about your number
9?
9. We're on number 9.
It is, I
guess.
Dinatra. I'm going to be reminding myself as I go.
This is the one I was calling. This is the one I knew would be on your list. Not only because she was in the thumbnail, but because you've always had a thing for Dinatra. You think she's hot or something? I don't know, but
Well,
I'll let you talk about why you.
Look.
I called it. I knew that was going to be on your list. That's the one I'm pointing
but
out.
pretty low down though.
Put it this way: she didn't make it on my list,
Okay.
and you like her low down, so don't even start. She's on my honorable mentions list. I'll say that though.
Even lower on you than me. Well, you are shorter, so that makes sense. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I didn't realize she was the same actress from Starship Troopers until you have to point it out because she plays such an off version.
Oh, it is too. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and she's phenomenal in that as part of why she's such a, you know, attractive lady from that. But I mean,
I should get to see her boobies in that. You know, I don't know if you need that.
Romulan, yeah. No, but yeah, she's and in fact, I happened to find some deleted scene reel like last week from Nemesis I've never seen before. So I actually watched like 2 new scenes with her that she was actually really good, and I was kind of annoyed because they were good actually.
Yeah.
But she stood out. I would say it's unusual to have Romulan women, but it really isn't. But even in Nemesis, it felt like, ooh, strong female captain. Not really, but the way she plays it is like, oh yeah, I'm top of my game, and no one bats an eye, but she kind of has that certain professional confidence. But it's not. She doesn't play the classical Romulan because she's not there on the outer edge dealing with non-Romulans. She's in the home world. Personal fleet. She's just a professional. She doesn't need to be sneaky or bullshitty. She's just a quality officer, and she, you know, chooses the you know, she's a patriot. She goes grand scope of the empire rather than the current, because no, legally, I mean through mass murder, but legally the current political power is Shinzon, and she, you know, risks her own life, her new ship's life. You know, she's pretty ballsy with a shitty little fleet that wish she brought more ships, but whatever. So she puts a lot of credit into her actions. And she should come back because I think we all assume she would be I think part of her promise is that she would obviously be massively influential in the future Romulan government, and she obviously respects them as warriors because she'd fought them directly and worked together. So you would think she'd be quite important in the post-Nemesis narrative if she ever comes back. And the way she says Valdor is awesome. So there you go.
No, I totally agree with that, but I knew she was going to be on your list for.
What? Yeah, I'm trying to think.
And you did. It's okay. I picked them. I do the same thing.
I mean, you picked a guy with 3 minutes of screen time. At least my lady has a little bit more in the space battle.
Wow, does she though? she made her. I don't know. Picard made a friend in the Romulan Empire this day.
Yes.
Yeah, she's memorable enough, but I wish those. Yeah, I've seen some of the deleted stuff, and yeah, she should have been in it more. Would have been a lot better in my opinion, and I agree with you. Very sure of things how she would play a vital role. So
yeah,
good choice. But she is in my honorable mentions. She was going to be on the list, but she got edged out by a few other people. So
and she almost wasn't in mine either. I really had to keep rearranging a little bit. So I was.
Figured.
Why? Why do you mean? Why you figured? Why? What?
Because I know that you mentioned her a few times just in passing about you really like her, and I think I know why you like her. But then I'm like, I saw her in the thumbnail, and I'm like, yeah, she's on the fucking list.
Well, it was
for a fact.
No, it was mostly because I wanted a woman and a different costume than TOS or TNG. It was more to have 3 eras to show not just doing TNG Romulans.
Oh.
That was more the logic. It was just a variety.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Whereas you would just be TOS, 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 and you'd be like, oh, so we're doing TOS top 10, are we? And they'd be like, yes. Like, oh, okay.
Well, no, thumbnail doesn't represent what's going on.
Although, how many R's or K's are we gonna have this week, Stuart? Are half of your list gonna be K's again?
No, actually, there's quite a wide variety.
Good. Lots of fun names though. What do you guys think? Do you agree?
Sean Corpier, though, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Sean. Price of the Phoenix has Omni and the Romulan commander. Her name was translated Dawn of Springtime. Ooh.
Phoenix.
Price of the Phoenix. I just put my moved all my Star Trek books from down here up to the library because we've got the new bookcase finally. We built it. I'm going to be doing my next live in front of it probably. But all the Star Trek books are in there, so yeah, I do have that novel. I haven't read it yet though. So
excellent.
All right.
Your number 8 is.
My number 8 is a fake.
Oh.
It's Vreenak from Pale Moonlight. Iconic iconic Star Trek moment. One of the best episodes, I think. It ranks as like, if not my favorite episode, it's definitely up in the top 3. But he's, as much as I like the character, he had to be on my list just because of that memorable line. It's a fake. But he's kind of an idiot.
Ooh.
Transmit this information to the Romulan government. Don't expect to deliver it in person, because he went from DS9 to somewhere else, and then from there to the other places when he got assassinated. That's a lot of time to communicate with your higher ups and say, so yeah, I got this data rod. The Federation pulled this bullshit. They're trying to, like, he didn't come across as a smart Romulan. He was, the way he was inspecting the holodeck program, like looking for little errors or things. He was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Scrupulous? No, not scrupulous. I can't think of the word. Anyway, very much looking for something to be wrong, and I feel like somebody of that caliber would have told somebody else or messaged somebody. I know it's probably want to do encrypted or whatever, or you want to bring the data rod to prove it, but you would have mentioned it to somebody. The fact that it wasn't transmitted bothers me quite a bit, but I really like the actor and I love the scene. So it's a fake. How many times have we said it's a fake on this channel for some reason? So
you at least twice as many as me. Vreenak rose to the position of senator, later becoming he was a senator, later became vice chairman of the Tal Shiar, secretary of the War Plans Council, and the proconsul Nero's most trusted advisor. So, vice chairman of the Tal Shiar, Stuart, and you just called him dumb. Ouch.
Well, he was.
Burn!
He was. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I may tell you later.
Lots of time for DS9.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Okay, fine. Olivia Julia.
President.
$5. Much like the Romulan government, Trekyards is ruled by a shadow military government. Yes, the men and women of the military group called the Moderators. That's actually pretty good.
But behind them are the secret anti-YouTube people that run it, really, being given a probe from the heavens.
Don't forget, there's 2 organizations, the Moderators and the Administrators. And then Samuel and myself are above them. But they have different... Anyway, that's fine. And then that's great super chat. I like that. Yeah.
And then the great koala in the sky is above all of us. I'll never stop using that as a reference because it just sounds so good. I should do a fan film where the great koala in the sky talks to somebody. And it's canon. I'm not making shit up. The great koala's talking. I just have him wake up one day and say, "I saw a great koala." What? It's just like, what?
Yeah. Plus, one more thing about Vreenak.
Yes.
I love his name. I love the name Vreenak. It is such a cool name. It's just, I don't know. I like it.
They're actually pretty diverse, their names. They didn't find a commonality.
Naming convention.
Yeah, Klingons are very similar. And then everyone says, well, then the joke about has every Klingon got an apostrophe in it? And we're like, no, lists them out. Oh, okay. From lower decks. It's like, some do, lots don't. Like most of the main ones. Worf, Martok, Gowron, Chang. It's pretty quick. You find most. Sorry, yes.
Danny Shields, €5. No way Romulans transmit that sort of info outside of in person. Vreenak would never have made mention of the data rod on subspace channels. True, but some indication that there's been a plot by the Federation would at least have been mentioned, so that had anything happened to him or the data rod, at least somebody else would know what's going on. It ended with him.
Well, no, the data rod survived. That's how they went against the war.
But it was damaged, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still. But that was the whole double plan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although that's where the idea of what's it called? When you're worried about everyone coming after you, what's it called? The Romulans are.
Oh, paranoid?
Yeah, when paranoia, if you're too paranoid to send information over subspace and then you don't get information to them because you die, well, who won there? Yes, it didn't get intercepted, but it was also lost. So it's kind of those things where, you know, works some of the time, but if the procedure is not to send information, then it's like, well, they made that, yeah, but they choose not to, you know, the risk is not worth it, etc.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Eugene, 250 rubles. Would you consider Stefan Desev, the Federation defector, to be of honorable mention? Not a Romulan by blood, but a Romulan by heart, for some time at least. The hell is Stefan? Oh, the Federation defector.
I did Google him. I do recognize him. I can't remember the episode particularly well. I think he's lived on Romulan for... I mean, he isn't a Romulan in the logical sense, but I mean, if you want to get honorable mentions, potentially in the same vein as sort of Savick, etc. Although, you know, if he's anyone's favorite Romulan, they haven't watched much Star Trek. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah.
It's like, it's not a bad thing, just it's a wrong thing. My number 8.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember my list. And they're so small I can't even tell who's coming up. So this is a surprise to me as well. My number 8 I chose is, cool. It is, what's his name? Borka. Okay, there we go. Yes, my TNG, your TNG guy. A little bit higher on my list. Just above Dinatra because he presents more of the classical Romulan. He is, we assume, medium to low, which is fine, but he sort of shows that they can be reasoned with. You know, their xenophobia only goes so far, but he also does represent that initial distrust and hate which Romulans do have at lower ranks, especially. I think the higher up Romulans we see, it goes from being more hate because of the, you know, and I'm just saying this for the first time thinking about it. The lower rank you are, the more, what's the word where you say propaganda? The more propaganda you get. And the older you get, the more you've seen, the more planets you've visited, the more spaceships, the more people you visited with, you see things more open. That's why captains are more annoying and dickish, but not vicious in a racist way because they know better, you know. So this guy kind of is like, he's mean and negative, but then he also learns that important lesson.
You just call me annoying and dickish?
No. What?
Oh, you said captains are annoying and dickish.
Well. Nah, not this time. Not this time. But no, he's one of the very few times we see a grunt. You know? Yes. And it's what you expect, and then yet it can evolve. So it shows you kind of both the stereotypical and then the non-stereotypical, which is the point.
Actually, that is a very good point, that he's one of the Centurions we get to know. Most Centurions come in, deliver some information, get called Centurion, get demoted 2 steps in rank, and then get kicked out the door. You don't get to know them. Yeah. That's interesting.
So we always get admirals or commanders or commodores or never just a guy. So he's he's really, really interesting for that.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, $2. Jolan True, Mr. Foley. Jolan True, false, Mr. Cockings. Oh, Julan false.
Okay, that was funny.
That was good too. Yes.
Stuart butchered it, but it was funny. But guys, 4 more likes and we'll hit 100. 4. That's it. That's it. Come on.
4 more likes.
Come on.
4 more likes. 1 more match. 1 more match. No.
What?
That's wrestling.
Oh.
When a wrestling wrestler retires, it's like 1 more match. 1 more match. When a wrestler retires, they never retire. They always come back. It's like people in soap operas. When they die, they're never dead. They always come back.
It was my twin that you viciously saw get murdered in front of you.
103 likes.
Hey!
Likes.
The like spike. The power of the like spike. It's a real power.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Alrighty. Yeah, I do like Bokra. Gotta say. And you're right. Finding pictures of him is a pain in the ass. I didn't even go through the episode to do it. Obviously, I don't do the screen caps thing. I just Google. Yeah, finding good pictures of him is not easy.
But yeah, a little bit higher up on my list. Just I like the dimensionality of what he portrays. So your number 7, though, I think.
My number 7 is Sela.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness. Is that just because you met Denise and interviewed her?
No, she can't have a top 10 Romulan without having her somewhere on it.
Oh.
Even though she's not really Romulan in my opinion. She is a half. Actually, she's a half Romulan. So there you go. There's one on the list. I don't know. I never liked the character. She never seemed like she was dangerous. She never seemed like, it was. So.
But she's not low on your list because this is our top 10. So why,
Well, she is low on the list considering she's in the bottom half.
She beats out every other Romulan ever,
Well, only Romulan with blonde hair we ever see too. So, I mean, there's that. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the acting. Just the character just didn't quite do it for me. She didn't sell the being a menace. I don't know. There's something. I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. I just don't like the character very much. But she is Romulan enough and causes enough problems for everybody. But she's got to be on the list. And the backstory behind her was tied to one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever. And so you can't ignore it. And she gets crossed over into video games.
Yeah.
And she's one of those characters that we've seen a lot of. So we've got a lot of what's going on with her kind of thing. So,
and she also allows Denise to actually act, which is great.
If that's what you can call it, sure.
Well, it's she's not like that in real life. It's not Yar, so she is acting.
Yeah.
Number
one special, $5. Now we know why Rickar does not want to be a captain, does not want to become dickish. I know you meant Riker. I'm just being an asshole.
Although List Jericho says she's as much a Romulan as Spock is a Vulcan.
I'm going to respectfully disagree.
Yeah, I understand the simple black and white point, but you do have, more percentage sort of what you're raised with, genetic. Like Spock looks, sounds, feels Vulcan. She looks, sounds, speaks human. He repressed his Roman side, his Vulcan side, and see that might repress a human side, but humans are so close to Roman. You if you took away the ears, it wouldn't be any different. So I think does whatever the Savick does she feel half Romulan? Well, no.
I don't know. I haven't felt her lately.
Oh. So I know the technicality of that, but there are obviously extremes on both sides. And, if you had a half Ferengi and he didn't like a Ferengi, I don't think you could say, he's as much as Ferengi as Vulcan. Worf is a Vulcan? No, what am I saying? Yeah.
See, as much as Spock was half human, he was also the definitive Vulcan. The one that kind of all other Vulcans that played after him, she's definitely not what I would think of as a definitive Romulan in any regard. Even her appearance, like I said, blonde hair. She's got that human genetics in there that really no other Romulan has blonde hair.
Yeah.
So.
You can also tell that because we know from the backstory that she didn't like Romulans until after Mum died. And then she was kind of forced, I'm going to have power, but if the Romulans screwed me and screwed my mum, I'm going to have power. So she's not really embracing either side of her heritage. But yeah, I mean, Sela, as a character, could have done better, should have done better, would have been a fun... if they ever really committed to her, but they never really did, ever, which is weird.
Well, they kind of did in a way, because they did tie her into the video games. She's had a more of a presence, even in novels and books. Her character's actually quite explored as far as being a Romulan goes.
But that's not... I mean, them as in TNG. They never committed.
True.
So she's one of those, it's her and Tomahawk, and Tomahawk feels more interesting and they had less screen time. And, you know what I mean? If they wanted to commit, they should have committed. Yeah. Yeah.
We got a few super chats to read before we get to your number 7.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Olivia Julius, $5. Many people don't know this, but thousands of years ago, moderators left the administrator's homeworld to seek away from logic. That is great. That is the great divide between the administrators and the moderators here on Trekyards. More alike than they're willing to admit. Starship Odyssey, £5.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Haven't seen the name before, so good to welcome to the channel.
Hi.
Hello, Trekyards. This is Odyssey requesting permission to dock. Welcome aboard. Permission granted. Just don't use the aft docking port.
It's tiny. And to be fair, if you're a full starship, then I don't know if either of our shuttle bays can accommodate. But we can meet up at a nearby planet, and I don't think your dreadnought can land, but I'm sure you can crash.
We'll figure something out.
Nice.
James Miguel, $5.
Hey you.
Go on, Tru Everyone. On 3, do your best Romulan reenactment of It's a Fake. 3,
I'll
2,
do that later.
1. It's a fake.
It's a pen. It's a lip balm.
This is a dead rod.
It's sunglasses.
It's a drink.
It's a Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. That doesn't quite roll off the tongue as much.
It's an X-Acto knife.
My number 7. Romulan TOS Commander. Far more Romulan than your number 7 Romulan lady. Now, she was going to be higher on my list. And then I started breaking down. Now, she obviously is number 7 of all Romulans. That's already a great position to be in. But when you break down what she does, a lot of her time is I'm going after a guy.
Pining after Spock, yeah.
Which, unfortunately, could be any character, any race. And as she says in the episode, I'm also a woman. So we focus on her being a woman of a Romulan rather than a Romulan. She's only a Romulan feeling Romulan for only a portion of it. That said, obviously, she still makes an incredible appearance, incredible impact. But it would have been nice to actually be more of the classical Romulan as well. With the costumes great, the looks great, the acting's great. Just can't be high on the list because she doesn't portray a Romulan as much as just a normal lady for a lot of it. There isn't as much nuance because she's not trying to, But still iconic in her own way.
Yeah.
Definitely need a second appearance to kind of give that extra Romulanness.
And we kind of get that in Star Trek Continues, if you want to go there.
Oh yeah,
but
100%.
But yeah, you're right. It's very much a '60s approach to having a female as a captain. They focus a little bit too much on the female, unfortunately, much to the character's detriment. That being said, the fact that there is a Romulan captain that's a female or commander, because I said, the ranking structure is quite a thing to say. And I think she does well enough when she's not dealing with Spock. Although her mind is distracted by Spock most of the time, so she's not really on her A game. So
it's a weird one. It's a mixed bag of what they're trying to do and they do it well. She doesn't represent the classic Romulan, and they obviously hadn't worked out what Romulans are really at this point. So she can't really represent the Romulans because they haven't really worked out what they are yet. Not really.
No name. She has no name.
Ooh. But yeah, number, 7? Yeah.
And Jeffrey Jacobs, $2. Oops, 100 slipped past me on to 150. Hashtag make Jeff pay. Let's get to 120 first. That's another 4 likes. I think we can do it with 160 people. Well, 140 people here. Sorry, not 160. 140 people. Hit that like button, guys. Do it.
And I want to see 200 likes. I'll be honest. I really do.
Well, yeah, absolutely. For the Empire.
Yeah.
The Romulan Star Empire.
But yes. So your number 6 is
Telek Armour. He is the one from Voyager, where they basically open up a wormhole to the Delta or to the Alpha Quadrant and contact this Romulan, who they eventually beam over and all that. And you get to know him again. You're getting to see the different side of he's a scientist. He's willing to listen to them and help them out. And considering when we find out where he is from or when he is from, that's pretty important mindset of not all Romulans are worried about, distrusting the Federation. Sure, he does it first, but he comes to understand that they just need help and he's willing to pass on information to their families and things like that. So it's really interesting to kind of get that in-depth look at another Romulan, and then, yeah, like I said, to find out the truth about when he's from. I think it's really impactful, and it's great to kind of see a TNG version of what a older style Romulan would be like, and try to incorporate that into your mindset of how Romulans work. You know,
because I think he was a
the
lost.
Fact that he was willing.
He
to
was a lost
that.
era, I think, technically.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely up there. Like I said, a lot of this is enjoyment factor. I really like the character. I love the episode, and I needed to include him on the list because there's more to him. I find a lot of the people on my list have a lot of dimensionality because you see other aspects of the culture, and just the fact that he's a scientist and willing to help them out.
We're also picking really strong character actors that play that that take a relatively simple role and give their own spin. Probably because they're picking the actors on purpose. You pick an actor with a certain vibe, you're going to get a certain vibe, and I think he brings a certain vibe. Does good old Admiral Forrest.
Oh, Bradley Weekland, though, $2. Do you like the S21 Ultra thinking about upgrading? The S21. That's for you, Sam.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I do actually. So I had the S20 because I we used to go doing conventions. I take lots of pictures. So having the best camera is important. And the S20 never quite worked as well for me. Didn't like the base as much. Its potential was good, but it wasn't quite as good as you'd think. This one I actually think does fix all those problems. The zoom's excellent. I really like the zoom. I like the body a lot more. The weight's really well distributed. The screen's better. The refresh rate's better. This is a much more refined piece. I think the cameras do feel distinctly better. Also, like the high-end photo modes, like they process like that. It's lovely compared to the other one, which is like... So no, I actually like it more than I thought I was going to. If it was theoretically a medium upgrade, it feels more like a real bigger upgrade. I'm excited to go on convention thing with you because this has a lot of flexibility. Like we can do 4K 60 frames a second selfie mode with a good camera and a good lens, a good audio. So that's yeah, I'm excited for that.
Welcome to Phone Yards, everyone. Livy Julius, $5. The fleet of the moderator's ships are based off of our most sacred of animals, Claw of the Puggy's Paw.
We've got a fleet of at least 200 of them. They're going to warp in all at the same time and face a ship of...
If they're pugs, they're going to warp in all at the same time and just start going all different directions or lay down and sleep.
Making a Picard reference, but okay. That's also good.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yes, the clone fleet. I like it.
Great.
Guys...
What is your number 6? Oh, sorry.
Yes, 6 will be in a second. But guys, at least 125 likes. Come on. I want to see the likes. I want to see those likes. Now, I don't remember my own list, so what is my number list? Ah, Vreenak is my number 6. Mr. It's a Fake. So higher up on my list, because, and this is why I can now debate you about his intelligence level, because I found that really interesting, what you took from that. He's an interesting one, because he plays it... He's unique in the sense that when he comes aboard the station, it's a semi-clandestine mission, but a official clandestine mission, because they're not at peace. There's an active war with one of our allies. I'm going here out of a courtesy, but I know I'm not going to say yes. But I want to see DS9, and I don't really like you, and you're going to lose. So his tone is so wonderful coming in. He's like, I'm interested to see the station before it gets blown up. So here I am. No intention of really being helpful. He's Mr. Arrogant, being kind of like I'm here for the booze way, which is unusual. But also he's a senator. He's not a military guy in the same way. So he kind of has a different vibe there as well. He's more politics. He's a man of words. A lovely sharp face, lovely whatever. And intelligence level is interesting. I think but that's that might be the most important information ever. Because that might lead to war with Starfleet for the first time in their history.
Helping the Dominion, essentially. They would help the Dominion, because the Dominion's already at war with the Federation.
Yep. Yeah, because going from a standoff to a all-out war, because he knows today might be the end of the Federation, and he plays it so well. Apart from it's a fake moment, it's a lot of pressure. And he can't not report it, He's at a turning point and he gets murdered for it. So yeah, it's a very, very one-off. You can't replicate performance, actor, makeup, and also good costume. Very unusual costume. Very not shoulder pad. Very elegant kind of politics, but not annoying politics costume.
I like the way he talked about the Romulan ale. Good approximation or whatever he said. Just the way that was a very measured approach. It just showed his thought process, but it surprised me that the amount of time he had and nobody else was concerning, because I would have made some kind of encrypted message to somebody. That's something that should be known.
But he would have been probably still in Federation space at that point. Because the DS9 isn't exactly the edge of Federation space, so I don't know. I feel like there must have been some reason, and he knows better than to send the most important secrets of the war over subspace when he could just. I mean, I'm assuming he scanned his ship. I'm assuming they have anti-bomb scanners, and so he's sure of himself. It's just Garrick's better, If you're confident in your own home, why rush? Especially, I'm sure he would have been back within a day or two. So Yeah.
No, because when you watch the episode, it's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks or something. Cisco was lamenting about what was happening and how he was waiting for the hammer to drop. And then he gets the news that he was killed. So that's a long time for him to be in transit, holding onto this information and not communicate it to anyone. I just find that very odd. It's just a sticky point with me. But I can understand, yes, in Federation space, want to present it in person.
Although, let's just be honest.
Be the hero of the Empire.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, you can imagine they'd be very much like, well, the radio operator would take credit.
Well, yeah, if he says it, if whoever he gives it to is going to take credit. So I'll buy that 100%. Yeah. But still, I find it an odd thing.
But also, let's be honest for a second. It's very possible he did transmit the information. And because he's quite balanced, he doesn't care who wins as long as they're fine. But the person that was on the other end might have chosen to say, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I don't like the Gemhead. I don't like the Dominion. I don't want them to win. I pick Federation over Dominion. Because we can beat the Federation. We can't beat the Dominion. And when Renet gets blown up. And this information gets... he's the guy that says, oh no, look, this is the truth because the information's corrupted. So I could easily see the other faction just decide, no, we need an excuse to fight, not be pro-Dominion. Because you're right, I think you could play either way, but you could easily retcon that story, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The amount of time that passes, and I don't buy it. It's a sticky point with me. The end of that episode, just that little gap of him waiting for shit at the fan, and it just doesn't. So, let's see. Olivia Julius, $5. We got a great way to infiltrate the evil administrators. We have designed and researched the perfect mole. Meet Fleetpaw, our sleeper agent. Dun, dun, dun. He's not even here yet. He'll be here soon, I think. He usually gets the last half of these.
But Bradley says he has S10E and can upgrade to S21. Yeah, that's a big upgrade. You'll absolutely feel that. That's if you haven't got the S20, you'll be it's a much bigger phone. You'll be annoyed by how big it is, but you'll get used to that really quickly once you get used to it. Like I can't go back to an S10 because it's like, oh, it's a tiny light piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a much better phone. The cameras are really good. Nice. All right, we're halfway, Stuart. You're number 5. Who gets the mid-half slot?
Her name. Is Toreth.
Ah.
And she is I believe she's a Section 31 agent.
A Section 31 agent.
Romulan military commander. I remember not Section 31. Tal Shiar. Oh, she doesn't like the Tal Shiar. That's right, because
her ship's commandeered by the Tal Shiar, and she's pissed.
Yes. Again, lots of depth to the character. A female captain again, or commander, and while she might be considered bitchy, I think it's all very justified considering the situation she's been put in. So I really don't have a complaint with it. At first glance, you're like, I don't like her. But when you think about it from her point of view, she's really got the short end of the stick here, and she's got to deal with this shit. And it's her ship. She doesn't like what's going on. She doesn't like that. I don't like this episode for Troy being whatever, but we gotta listen to this little shit on her own ship. But yeah, I think she's again very much one of those hard-edged. This is how Romulan captains should be, and she definitely portrays that. And usually a character like this, I wouldn't like, but unfortunately, she's fantastic. I'm not the biggest fan of the episode, but I think she's a great commander for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm sure you'll have more to say about her soon.
Quite possibly.
Well, do you want to find out what your number 5 is, Samuel?
We can do. My mid of the list is... I'm going to go with Tomalak as my 5th. And I have his cheeky little face of him. So he's the one you always think of, but isn't it less than you think? It's kind of like a Garrick approach if there's only one season. He's an interesting one because he plays it for the fun factor, which tells you a lot about how he feels in his missions that he's in. But he can stop to menace. But he also doesn't feel the most competent. But he also doesn't feel like the top of his game or the worst of his game. He's it kind of feels like a good political player who got his way into a ship and is kind of like a Krug in that he likes his own ship and does his own thing and, pitches his own missions and, he's kind of got that personal compass that I feel like he would follow. So he's good, although I wish he was more than on the view screen. Although I remember they said in the episode where he wasn't on the view screen, he said he felt uncomfortable because A, he had less time to rehearse that, and B, he'd like to be on a view screen, so he said he doesn't want to do non-view screen work anymore.
For Future Imperfect?
Yeah, he was like, I don't like being with other people. It was a really weird comment, but then he was always, he's a view screen Romulan. But I don't know, he hasn't got the depth of some of these other people, but he's higher up on the list because he's interesting, but he hasn't got a ton of depth. So, you know what I mean? It's tricky, and you could easily argue like not whoever my earlier numbers were for depth probably have more depth, but he's such an iconic, interesting one. He kind of beats him out for that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about him soon again.
Possibly. So. Who knows? He is iconic.
I think I'll say what I have to say until then. So.
Sure thing. As we want 5 more likes and $50 more. That's what our aims are here today.
All right. So Olivia Julius, $5. Please welcome back Senator Brian. He's back from our internment camp. Surgery recovery. Yes.
Oh, Jesus, that went dark.
It's good to see you, Brian. Hopefully you are feeling better. And Matthew K, $5.
Hi, Matthew.
To me, she's a good example of Hold on. To me, she's a good example of that. There are human, real people on all sides. Are we talking about Toreth? Probably. Yeah, you can see the frustration in her, which kind of betrays her training a little bit. She kind of lets her emotions run wild a little bit, but yeah. All right. My number 4.
Ooh, now we're in the top 4. Yes.
Is the female commander from yesterday's or tomorrow Enterprise incident. That's it. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And we've got the same picture.
Yes.
Yeah, just the TOS ones hold a special place for me, obviously, and like I said, there's a lot of this is enjoyment factor and just personal preference. She had to be on the list somewhere, and actually, she's the 3rd woman on the list so far, which is
plenty of women in Romulans.
Oh yes,
lots of them.
Yeah. And you're right. Unfortunately, that is a bit of a detriment to her character in the 60s when this was filmed and written for her. I think it could have been better had it been a different climate as far as whatever. You know what I mean?
And it's not even that it's out of place. Like, it's really well balanced. It just needed more time with the other half. Like, that's all. It just was not, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird.
Yeah. But, I mean, her trying to bring Spock over to their cause, because there's more similar than, dissimilar about them,
Although, you imagine, it's quite a ballsy, out-of-nowhere idea. She must have been, liked him. He must be famous, and she must think he's hot outside of this. Kind of like Krug, Chang is like, Kirk. Like, he's researched him. So he has a personal, Kirk's like, who the hell are you? And the guy's like, hello, Kirk. So she must have been stalking him on Facebook, Space
book.
Yeah. Starfleet book. Because, I mean, we know Romulans can easily get on the Starfleet book because of Vulcan Romulan, I'm just saying, it's a bit weird she's out after Spock, because it's semi-random.
Yeah, and unfortunately, she is distracted, and it kind of shows. I do love how she deals with her crew, kind of puts them in their place. The same two officers. We've already reviewed this episode, and it's the same actors for different. Which, who's going to notice? No one. That's who.
It is amazing. I love when we saw that. It was great.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, she's got a prize here. She's got the Enterprise, the Constitution class ship, one of the only few Constitution classes the Federation have. She thinks she's in a good position. She basically gets, she gets kind of, I don't even know why she's high on my list now. Anyway.
I was going to say, why is she so high?
I don't know. I just when I was ranking them, that's how it turned out. So, my bad.
Oh, that's fine. The thing is, she's iconic, but not for being a Romulan. That's the weird thing. She's iconic for the episode and the acting, not for being a Romulan. That was my differentiation. That's why she was lower on my list. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put it in the comments now.
What? I think I'd reorganize a few things on the list after we have discussions about it. But I love that we both go in kind of with our ideas and yeah.
Cool.
Let's see.
Yes.
Sean Corpier though, $2. Dawn of Springtime. Yes. Omni. Maybe that's her name. Is that her name? Is that probably in the book? Yeah. Fleet Pause Swiftback is here, $2. Fleet Pause here. If Tomalak isn't number one, mutiny. Well, you're gonna mutiny because Samuel's already had Tomalak.
Well, I did an oopsie because we're swapping doing the. So, because I thought we were out of sync. So ask me who my number 4 is, Stuart.
Who's your number 4?
Tomalak, actually. Because we had to swap the order. So
who was number 5 then?
So Tomalak's number 4 was my number 5. Was the so I'll go jump back. So my number 5, Stuart, was Taroth, the TNG lady. Which is funny because she was your number 5. So we mutually had her as number 5. Something like guys, but again, there's a slight confusion with the thing. But I like her because she's basically in 2 episodes. Not as the same named character, but clearly the same character. Why else would you be? She acts the exact same both times. So she's in 2. She's in the Iconian episode, and then she's fine and she's good. She's a standard Romulan. There's nothing particularly special. And to bring her back and give her a very in-depth episode, because that is one of the key Romulan episodes. Because just like with Intimate Darkly, we're exclusively on the Romulan ship, and no one's actually a human here. It's probably one of the best Romulan episodes because it is just Romulans being Romulans. And you don't need this dirty subterfuge, again, as I said earlier, with the interpolitics of trying to be dodgy to other races. It's just the internal stuff. So she is not a sneaky lady. She is a military officer. She's a stern, commanding, clearly respected, clearly earned her way up military officer who do her job as one of the biggest ships of the fleet and kick butt. Obviously, the actress brings a lot of bile and snide and venom, while just being plain. She's not trying to do that. It's just the innate. But it comes across as a beautiful underlayer. And to see her deal politics, as you said as well. Tal Shiar wants the ship. She doesn't like it, but she has to follow the orders. And then it's just she's a very, very good performance for a unusually deep Romulan. But also they give it a full episode, so they can't have time for that. You know, you kind of wish there was one for Tomalak like this, because he deserved one this big. You know, it's kind of shame he never got one.
Yeah. So we synced up on 1.
We did.
Number 5.
On 5.
Awesome.
So then my 4 was Tomalak, so it was slightly higher on my listing, because of these iconic beats. Sometimes iconic beats deep, because she was definitely a deeper character. But then I can ask, what is your number 3, Stuart?
Unnamed Romulan TOS commander from Balance of Terror. The first introduction to the Romulans.
Oh.
I hate that he doesn't have a name, by the way. I think he gets one later in like a graphic novel or something. But anyway.
Well, which of his names is it, though? Is it the public one, his private one, his wife one, or his... Yep.
I don't know.
Stupid, eh? Stupid.
Anyway, first introduction to the Romulans. I prefer this style of Romulan, like the TOS look. I don't like when we get the ridges in TNG. I understand it's... I would have complained about that at the time. Had Trekyards been a thing, and the first time we see a Romulan, it's like, that's not a Romulan. Why'd they have to change the Romulans? I would have bitched and complained, because I probably did when I was a kid. But anyway, this guy is great. Very measured. He's got a specific mission. He's testing the Federation's metal, and he's not... At a certain point... and he goes all out. He destroys his own ship at the end of it. And that, in a different reality, we could have been friends to Kirk, because they're very much alike as far as being captains go. But you don't really get a feel for... there's a certain dimensionality when he's talking to his old friend, I forget the rank the guy was. He talks about his wife and his family and his home and seeing the skies of his, I don't know why he's on my list so high, but he's there because I love him.
I
TOS.
thought he was going to be a number 1 because TOS fanboy, one of his reps. I was convinced to be number 1. Actually, I'm shocked. I would have put a 5 on it. I would have. Wow.
But then pay up.
No, I didn't though. I would have. Yeah. Who else here thought this would be Stuart's number 1? Be honest. Sound off in the comments. The Romulan commander, unnamed as such. Yeah, he's definitely an interesting discussion to be had about him for sure.
Which means he's going to be on his list at some point. We'll talk about it soon.
I mean, maybe, possibly. Although I do think though him and and I put in my notes Romulan commander male, Romulan commander female. They have no names.
I got Romulan commander and female commander.
Yeah. I think both, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, benefit explicitly from the episodes being incredible. As to the best episodes. If they were not to the best episodes, they would not start. Obviously, the writing would be less good by definition. But because they are in the top whatevers of episodes, they are more memorable because of that. If this was a worse episode, he would just be another Romulan commander. I think he gives a lot to it, but you always sticks out in the mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to say that's not 80% his performance, but I think there was a good icing on the cake because it's also a great episode. Therefore, he's always going to like it as a concept,
Yeah. Squadron Course, $2. I really thought he would be Stuart's number 1 too. I fool you all. Sean Corpier puts in $2. Omni is a different character, so that's not her name. Okay, good. And Sean also puts another $2. Oh, wait a minute. Before that, god damn it, my brain's not working today. Sorry, guys. Olivia Julius, $5. Please look at our newest ship class, Moderator Warpug. Oh my god, there is a graphic novel series called Battle Pug. Just so you know, check it out. It's awesome.
Oh goodness.
Sean Corpier, $2. Did you check out Battle Pug?
No, I have no idea.
Oh
goodness.
Terul, the Defiant Cloaking Technician. Oh yes, which is Butternuts from Voyager. Seska. In it for one episode and then disappeared.
No, she's in the second one, but briefly.
Oh yeah, for a hot second, but it's a two-parter really.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
one episode.
Although they're really very different episodes, so that's why.
True.
Like they're all anyway. But yeah.
The fact is, she was supposed to be a regular because she was supposed to be the one that was the Romulan liaison because they're borrowing the cloaking device. That was a whole thing. That was part of the agreement.
Yep.
But
it's fun though. She got to be a Cardassian, a Klingon, a Romulan, and a human. Well, Bajoran.
And Bajoran, yeah.
That's a pretty, and she's a good actress. Like she plays them all well, but I think her face is too memorable. Like you know, it's her in every single one. You know, she doesn't. You're not fooled by her face. She's pretty good in all of them. Nice. Yeah, Romulan Commander Man. I like it. My number 3. Nope. Yep. My number 3 is this guy, whose name is. Well, I'll let you see. I'll let you see first. See if it's a surprise.
Oh, well, Voyager guy. Kellic Armour.
Yeah, and he beats Tomalak for me. Whoa!
Beats him with what? A rubber hose? Baseball bat?
Pain stick. He likes the Klingon art of pain stick. So yeah, this was an interesting one. It wasn't... I knew it was going to be on my list, but until I started really thinking about it. The reason he's so high is because he is... And I think that the top few are not what you associate Romulans being, and that's what it shows as being varied in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
He ticks all the boxes, right? He is classically trained to be dubious and distrustful, but he's also a really good guy. You know, he's kind of like us with politics, not interested. So when it comes to he's been told a rational situation, he as a person can relate to it, and then promises to help, but still to the letter of his own like legal framework. Like he's not going to betray his own people, but he's going to help them. But think of the balls of this guy. Volunteering to beam aboard this Federation starship through a bloody wormhole, which are not things you have stable. Like send that guy, send Jerry, send mega ultra sub super non-commander Jerry. Don't go yourself. So that's how invested he is in the science of it. You know, he wants to be the guy. That tells you so much about him. He's very very much the J.G. Hertzler lawyer of Romulans.
Yeah.
He shows you kind of pure science guy, who still plays him a bit more Vulcan-y, I think, and even a bit more stoic, but very good. Looks good. Brilliant episode. I think probably somewhat the bias of the episode. Like, it's such a good episode. Brilliant sci-fi concept, very Star Trek concept to the science stuff, and the bittersweet ending is such a harsh pill. I mean, it's really, really like dour, but really like wolf.
And you want to hear the end of the story, like. Did the information get passed along? Where is it? What happened to it? What happened to him? Like, you want to know all this stuff.
I think we all assume it did because of Pathfinder. Like, they did know they were alive and therefore they could do the project. I think that was said somewhere, but probably not one of the books. Or like with the Anyway, although it's funny how the Doctor, you know, the 2 times they might get a message to Earth involves Romulans. Yeah. One dying in the past and one dying because you just gassed him. You just gassed him, to be fair. But I just think he's such an interesting choice. And for so little screen time, he actually does a lot of acting in the little screen time. Because he does an audio log, and he does the audio. And and just his directness. He's a very layered performance for a very limited time. And they gave him time to shine in the episode. And obviously, he's a brilliant actor that plays so many roles. And he's a very different version of himself. So I just thought he's way more layered than the Romulan Commander, the lady, another one. So I thought, yes, had to be high up on my list.
Well, that's basically what I said. Layered scientist, you see the different aspects, and willing to help out, like, and understanding the political climate of when he was from. That's interesting because.
Yep. Yeah, because he comes from, it wasn't wartime, but I can't help legally. Yeah. But I don't also hate you guys, so it's lost era time. No, it's such a it's good. Like Tomalak is a gimmick. He is a depthful character. You know, Tomalak's great, but this guy has a lot.
Yes. Well, Squadra Course, $2. Olivia just gave me an idea. Pugs in Space. We've all heard of Pigs in Space from the Muppet Show.
Or you should do Angry Pugs, the game. Just do a clone of Angry Birds with pugs. It would sell like hotcakes.
I would play that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can name your own pugs and like pick one, and it's like your pug, and so you get to have a, yeah, very personal. Because pug owners love pugs, so gotta be personal.
Exactly. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2, 150 likes. Nice. Yes, 153 now. If you haven't hit that like button. Let's get those likes up if you're able to. And then Olivia, wow, throws in a $50 super chat. So thank you so much, Olivia. That is awesome.
Wow.
So I was trying to get an alliance with the administrators. They asked in good faith to give them a shovel. I didn't have one, so I had to work fast. However, they found out that I deceived them when they cried out, "It's a rake." She has too much free time on her hands driving around thinking of this shit, because she's actually very, very talented and very clever. So thank you, Olivia. You make me laugh, and I appreciate that.
But you get to benefit from that. The fans, the audience. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Goodness.
Damn.
But can we get to for Olivia, for President Olivia, can we get to 160 likes?
8 more likes.
That's it. That's it. You know, that's it.
Okay, so.
Ooh, the silver medal.
Telek was your number 3, so your bronze medal.
Yes.
Mine was the Romulan commander from TOS.
Yes. My
silver medal, number 2, is Sub-Lieutenant Stahl, also Admiral.
Oh.
Holiday Aran. From the Defector. The Defector guy. Again, very excellent actor, very fun episode. And we learn a lot about Romulans. We learn a lot about his family. Even on the holodeck when he says, "I'll never see my planet again," and you know, like you get to get into the meat and the mind of a Romulan, and you really understand what makes him tick. And he doesn't want a war. He doesn't want to betray his people, but he doesn't want millions of them being killed in a war that can be prevented. He thinks he's doing the right thing, finds out he's actually being used. He's a pawn, essentially, of his government. And so even though he did the right thing, he basically got screwed. And it says a lot about the Romulans, the way they use people, use their higher-ups, because he is an admiral. It's quite an interesting revelation as to what makes the Romulans tick, and I think he's a fun character, very well played, very well. There's so much to say about this guy and this character, and again, it's the layering, it's the different aspects that you see of his mindset. Very reluctant at first to tell them anything, except for exactly what they needed to know. Turns out he was in fact lying about who he was. And then his house of cards, it kind of all falls apart when he finds out that his government essentially used him.
Do you think, though, as we kind of agree with the other ones, this is a slight episode bias? He's in one of the best of TNG? Like, maybe a little, but I think as far as Romulans go, he's the one we get to know not the most, but very in depth. We get to know his character, not just being a military person. We get to see more of the character in one episode, and I think that's very well done. Well, he's a sort of character that, unlike a lot of the other Romulans, where you get not spoon-fed, but you get progressively shown more as the episode goes on. He is thrown in the deep end with you. And even so much as not allowing his ship to be taken, because doesn't matter what happens today, I will not betray my people, even though I'm betraying my people, the subset that disagree with me, but not the larger subset that I think I'm serving. And obviously it's the bias of, we know he's right, quote unquote, because of the story. You could obviously, this is how patriots are potentially doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, right thing for the wrong reasons. Luckily he's right. Although this is a character that, I was about to say we should learn more, but he died at the end, he committed suicide, but they could have done so much with him, and it's really sad. But he's also too dangerous to keep alive, because you can imagine at some point he would give in and tell too much to the Federation, and he couldn't live with himself. You know what I mean? Like he will be not even guilted, just he'll see his people do worse and worse things and say, well, now I have to give him information. But that goes against everything he's been brought up to believe. So it's a really, there's a lot of, he's a man full of, he probably wasn't intending to live beyond this mission. It's probably a suicide mission from day one, I had an objective and...
Pretty much.
Once maybe the politics will allow me to live, but I'm not expecting to. And I think when you think that going in, it's even more dark.
Yeah. Plus, he's got 2 names, so it counts as 2 people.
Well, you got 7 names, Stuart. A fake name, a real name.
14.
Oh, you think his cover story had 4 others? Okay,
probably. Okay. Would you stop bringing up the multiple name thing? That's just so stupid.
I know, it's very stupid.
Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther.
Yep,
it's
flat.
Australian.
Yep. Romulus is
ironically, ironically, Australian dollars, even though it doesn't exist. So.
Well, no, he hacks YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Michael Burnham would be the best Vulcan if she wanted to be. Well, season 1 would have us believe she was very Vulcan-like. So.
I mean, she's probably the best human and best Vulcan ever in Star Trek. So, yeah, there you go, done. Stuart, I solved it. The number 1 human of all Star Trek is obviously Michael Burnham.
Yes. All right, Samuel.
Yes.
Who is your silver place finalist? Your second in command. Your sub commander.
Oh. Who do you think is going to get my number 2?
Same guy I just said.
Same guy you just said. Defector man. No, my number 2 I will give to Mark Leonard. Actually, higher in my list as a Romulan commander. Which is why I didn't say as much. But no.
I know who your number 1 is now. I'm just gonna call it.
Oh goodness. Yeah, no, he's he's obviously the first. I'll give the same reasons because this is you can't not give the number 1, number 2 the same reasons. He is a good symbol of a lot of these things. As I said earlier, my sort of top ones are ones that are both fully Romulan but also fully more than that. He is devious, he is cutthroat, he is sacrificial, he is for the greater good, but he's also brave and honourable, and you can see why he may not get, if he lived, he may not get much expansion after this because he's too honourable. He would need a different political climate. Like, he can get so far in his talent, but if he's not going to play the political game, he'll get no further. You kind of get that sense, and honestly, you could probably argue that he was given this mission because they expect him not to come back. Damn good tactician, but he very might die, and we don't necessarily want him back because he's not taking my bribes,
In a graphic novel that is actually a prequel to this, yes, that's exactly the thing. He's kind of naive, and they want him out of the way, so they put him in charge of this mission, knowing full well that he won't be returning. Pretty much, yeah.
And it's not that he's not brilliant; it's just that he's too honourable, and that's a problem. If he won't play, like I said, won't play the game of Romulus, then. But it's still a big mission to be part of. Although I kind of wish the ship was more impressive, really. That's the 60s budget.
50 years of Star Trek backing up the Romulans tech. So yeah.
Yeah. At least give it damn warp, for God's sake.
Well, that was just, I think, a bad scripting choice.
Yes. But... It's like Space Warp 1. It's like, no, please stop. But that's why he's very much the. Because obviously Romulans live longer. So he was probably born after the Romulan War, because that was 80 years earlier. I don't think he's 100 and something at that point. So he probably actually came from a post-war period where they didn't focus on that war side as much. And so he was in it more for the theoretical. And then he was in this time. He's just a born tactician, but not a born warrior. And there is a difference.
Yes.
And also the acting's so good. And although it was a bit theatrical. But that's, he's in a weird bright shirt with elf ears in a very small cramped set with bright purple lights. Of course he's feeling the theatre of it, But yeah, I think he's not just iconic, he's deep, and he's very much the Wrath of Khan. Never meets Kirk, and yet has a real bond with him. And yeah, he's obviously the bias of one of the best episodes of TOS, but he also plays it well. But thankfully there is enough of that subterfuge to still make him feel Romulan. Just a more
he came off more as Roman than Romulan.
Yeah.
Like, especially when he's talking to his older Centurion friend there.
Well,
so.
the language certainly does help that. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. But he's a specialist, you know. He's not leading a big warship, he's not leading a political force, he's a specialist. And he comes across that way. So yeah, I think he's you know, good. Although why don't we though, before we go to number 1, do some honorable mentions to kind of say who didn't go on our list? That's how you're meant to do it.
That's what we should probably do, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of lead up the suspense.
Before we get into that, though, Martin Devon, no Mark Alamo as T-Bok? No.
Which one was T-Bok?
The first time we see the Romulans on TOS, there's 2 of them sitting side by side.
TNG.
Or TNG, yeah. One of them is Gul Dukat. Yeah.
I had considered vaguely, but they're in it so little, and they're both stereotypes. They invented the stereotype.
Yep. All right. So how many honorable mentions do you have?
I have a couple. I haven't got pictures because I didn't necessarily commit to them, but you can do all yours and I'll throw in mine.
Okay. Well, mine are Dinatra, which we've already covered. She was going to be on my list because I knew you'd want her on the list. You want to talk about her, but then I figured she'd be on your list, so she kind of got edged out slowly. But yeah. Then we got Pardak, who, of course, is the Romulan from Unification, which, same actor as Commodore Mendez. I didn't know that, so I was looking this up for this episode, and I was blown away. And now that I know that, I'll never... It's obvious that it's him, but anyway. He didn't make the list because, I don't know, there's just other Romulans that made the list. Simple. Pardak. And lastly is Caitlin Darr.
Wasn't he a traitor as well? Wasn't that the whole thing? In the Spock episode, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because I remember his name, but I remember not liking him. As is it like, he didn't come across well? Is that just... I don't remember fully. Because isn't he in the Unification? Isn't that his thing? The senator that betrayed Spock to the Romulans because he was like, oh yeah, Spock, we'll have political power. And then, nah, Spock, I hate you. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Last one is Caitlin Darr, who I really wanted on the list because...
No, hold on. Who you really wanted?
On the list.
No,
I wrote... Oh, yeah, I wanted...
That's a separate...
Both. Yeah, both. Come on now.
What happened to your picture, though? Why is it, like, colour banding? That's weird.
It's the reflections in the background.
Okay. Sorry, why?
Ow. Goddamn. Because she's hot. She's one of the Romulans we get in the movies, which we don't get a lot of Romulans in the movies. And Ambassador Nautilus from Star Trek 6, you know.
He's good.
Right, but he's kind of an asshole. She's sweet. She's nice. She's a different Romulan that we don't see very often. So, and she's hot. So what can I say? There you go.
I think you've said it all. Yeah.
And she's dating Gorkon at the end of the movie. And then for the next movie, he falls in. Gorkon, yeah.
What?
She hooks up with the Federation ambassador in Star Trek V, which is Gorkon, same actor. So it's a new Klingon Romulan alliance, but not of 2267. It's of 22, whatever the year was. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I also considered it on my list because she's such an interesting Romulan. She doesn't feel Romulan, and yet she does. It's weird.
Again, I haven't felt her. I'd like to and see whether she feels Romulan or not. But
where I think she differs is that she is Romulan, but she is she's the assigned PR person.
Yes.
So
yes.
She has interpersonal skills with other races. She's not the same sort of, but she doesn't need to be a murdertician. She doesn't need to be slimy. She just needs to be good with people. And so that's what she is. So she's very much a PR Romulan. And so she's great. You could have her be any race, it wouldn't matter, but a good PR Romulan.
Yes, absolutely. She's the face of the Romulan Empire.
And we all
She's
smile.
An ambassador. Absolutely.
Guys, $14 more? Can we get $14 more? I'd love to see $14 more dollars. Just saying. I have one honorable mention. I did prep. And it is Cheeky Fecker lady.
Cheeky Fecker, yeah. Yep.
Just because she's memorable, but at the same time, she could be any race.
Yep.
And the fact that
she wasn't on my list.
And the fact that she's so OP, without any she's like all of Discovery and Picard. Like they're OP without like really feeling natural. You know, she knows all the things. She can do all the things. She's best at all the things, and yet she's boring at that. You know, like she's not. You know what I mean? It doesn't come across the way I think they mean to. But she's still a fun character to watch. But she could be any race, and obviously an Irish Romulan is weird with no reason. It's like, okay, great, you know, and also missed opportunity. You know, a better character than Raffi probably, but for very different reasons. I don't know. So she was one I thought of, but also I was like, do I really want to give it to a Picard character when they did the Romulans so mediocre? And it's like, oh hell, I'm not. But then I googled Picard Romulans. I'm like, oh god, yeah, we've got Narek and this bullshit. Yeah, I'm not including her. The stain of the Romulans in Picard is like, yeah, no. Yeah. Better Romulans and everything else. Dinatra is better than her easily, and she has less screen time.
It's yeah, no. Not yeah, no, yeah. It's definitely yeah, no.
But I got an almost yeah. I almost got a yeah, no, yeah. I just got a yeah, no too.
Not a band account, $2. What province on Romulan has an Irish accent? All of them except the northern ones. Maybe.
The ones that like to drink more. It's a designated area. If you like booze, you go there, and then you eat a potato stew, a Romulus potato stew, and then you drink.
My kind of time. As you guys know, I'm pretty much Irish, so. Fleetpaw Swiftback, $2. Cheeky Feckers. Yes, that's us. And Starship Odyssey, again, with £5. Thank you. Trekyards, this is Odyssey, requesting permission to depart. Apologies, any damage to the docking pylons. Permission granted. Hope you enjoyed your stay.
I feel like you might have got drunk with the Irish, though, if it caused damage, because that's bad piloting. But if you didn't, brilliant. Welcome to come back. Unless we find you just nicked some deuterium.
And Martin Devon's like, yeah, no, what? Yeah, see, there's yeah, no. There's yeah, no, yeah. It's like, watch Aussie, man, and Canadians are the same way. You got the yeah, no, yeah, totally. Yeah, no. Yeah. God damn. I find myself doing it all the time. I'm sorry.
And then obviously there's just yeah and no. I knew.
That's too easy. Oh, yes. And then no.
Oh, yeah. Engineer. That's funny.
All right. Sean Corpier, $2. The Romulan Kids, sword fighter on Picard. Leonidas. No. Legolas. No.
No. It's the
name?
Yeah. It's the guy from the Ring. The guy that. Elron? No. Maybe. No. I mean, it's
Leonard. No, not Leonard. Elron. Sounds familiar. Elron Hubbard?
Yeah, well, no, his name's Elnor, but who's his character in Lord of the Rings?
Elnor. I don't know.
Come on, he was at the first battle with the first ring. Come on.
I've never watched the movies, so.
Oh, that's sad. Come on, he played Agent Smith, but that's obviously not his name. They're literally the same costume. It's weird. Because he's not just an elf, he's the same costume.
Yes.
Why is he Australian? I mean, Elnor's just another waste of a character. Like, you had an idea, you didn't follow through with it, and then he's just there. Like, he's a baggage character, you know?
Elrond. That's the character's name. But for the viewers, the chat always answers the questions.
Oh, Elrond is the...
Yes.
I was like, is Elnor? But yeah, Elrond is the Lord of the Rings. Okay, yes. Cool.
Yes.
God, that's even embarrassing. Elnor and Elrond. That's embarrassing. I mean, at that point, it's a deliberate reference, surely. You know, you're surely, you know, spamming the whatever.
Any more honorable mentions?
No, I assume I had a. Although Caitlin Darr, I give as an honorable.
Yeah. I'd give her an honorable something.
So, Stuart, of all the Romulans in all the worlds, who has beaten all of your people up until this point.
All right. So my number one, my gold medal, my commander is Ramda from Trekyards. That fortune-telling lady girl.
Excellent choice. She is her combat acting is just definitive.
No, but for realsies.
For realsies.
Tomahawk is my number one. He is the poster child for all Romulans in TNG. He is a goofy, bumbling, fun yet menacing. He can be both. He's the Romulan everyman. He's somebody you can relate to. We even get to see him in Future Imperfect, where he's not really him, but still, it's fine. And the whole, are we just going to stare at each other across the neutral zone? Like, he's got some good he comes off as both menacing and goofy, and I love that. I think that it's somebody that I really appreciate. He's very memorable, as I said, and a lot of the aspect of these rankings is just the memorable factor, the enjoyment factor. I really enjoy his character. Would have liked to see more of him, and yeah, the way they flip flop on him, like when he's menacing, episode wise, next time you see him, he's a goofball. It's like, okay, well, he's bipolar. He's having a bad day as a captain. He's a little bit pissy some days, and other days he's just kind of like, hey, what's going on?
Well, I think also you could argue he thinks that a Darradex can beat the Galaxy class, and so you can imagine he's thinking internally, oh, I could kill this guy if I want to. And so there's like slight, a menace from confidence. And you can imagine that, you could probably argue gently that every time he's with Picard, there's always another cloaked ship like 5 minutes away. So he's always got the upper hand, except that one time he didn't, and then his demeanor changes. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a little gentle retcon, kind of like in Lower Decks, where there's, we keep seeing the Darradexes and the cloaked thing, and just like, we retcon to Tomahawk, it's like there's always like 3 warbirds next to him at every time. But I guessed he was your number one when he reacted to how I called him, much not as dimensional, because that isn't the point of why you voted him. So what do you think in my sort of as a response to what I said? Because he's only my number 4, still number 4, but.
Well, I agree. I can see why you'd put him like that. That's one of the things about these lists, because if we did have a ranking system, as far as somebody asked earlier, how we ranked them, like if we have like scores for each strength or whatever, intelligence, I don't know how you do that, but it's personal preference, and I'm fine with you saying number 4. I didn't expect him to be number 1 on your list at all, and I still don't know who's number 1 on your list, so there's that. But yeah, it's perfectly fine. I can see what you mean with the way you explained it. No dimensionality. Like I've been mentioning dimensionality all through all of mine, pretty much, as the more layered approach is the ones I relate to more, because you can see all aspects. Well, not all aspects, but you don't get the Uncle Sam on the poster pointing at you only view of the person. So.
And he's both, though. He is both not dimensional, but he plays the duality incredibly well, which a lot of them don't. So he's not, just because they didn't give him time to become deep, but the fact that he can play both the fun-loving manipulator, because that's what he is, and the menace, that's where he comes across. He just wasn't getting enough screen time, and it's only because he's working Babylon 5 and they couldn't come and film much. That was the only reason. They wanted him more, they would have got him more, he just couldn't commit to that. Not that I don't, obviously he's better on Babylon 5, but he was given every episode, obviously he would be, but in a different world he would have been, imagine him replacing Seela. Sorry, Denise, but if he'd come back for those episodes, it would have been a much different situation. My god, that would have been like, ooh, yeah.
All right, Samuel.
Yes.
We all know your number 1 is Narek, so let's just brush away all pretense.
No, I wanted to go. Look, I went deep, and I decided. This is the gut reaction, right? Okay, my number 1 is That's a very dark picture. Hold on, me up. I know you'll be surprised, but I think he summarizes a lot of what Romulans are.
This is a joke. You're picking Nero for reals?
Well, think about it for a second. He is both sneaky, tactical, and he kills a lot of people. Are those not things Romulans
He
look
tattoos
for?
his face like all Romulans do. Yeah.
Well, not many people see their home get blown up, so I can imagine the trauma factor. No, I think all he does, you know, obviously, this is all the subtext of the movie, but the fact that he manages to escape a from prison without any technology, steal back a ship that's probably been retrofitted in a space... We assume must have attacked a space dock and, you know, stole the ship back. I'm assuming he then just fired everything, like, killed... Like, you can imagine he might have even... Like, he probably even destroyed the planet... What? The planet that the space dock was around to you know... So, he probably killed more people in his short amount of time. Plus, you know, his acting's really good. He portrays a lot of menace, a lot of nuance. He's given a lot of screen time. He makes Spock kneel. Only, you know, the female commander's gonna kneel for Spock. No. He's.
I gotta cut you off there. It's starting to smell like bullshit in here, and I'm allergic to bullshit, so I'm gonna have to go to the hospital soon. Anaphylactic reaction. So.
I don't understand your problem here. He's the most iconic Romulan of all time, right?
That bullshit smell out of this room. Come on now.
So, super chat me right now if you disagree with me. I want to see a $1 if you disagree with my number one.
Well, while they're doing that,
yes,
we'll read a few super chats because we're getting behind a bit. Tim McCaffrey, $10.
Oh my god!
Have to send a shout out to our crewman Simon Tarses.
Simon,
just talked about him, but yes, he's only part Romulan. And he's not proud of it, so, you know, does that really count? I don't know. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. Yay! No mutiny. Sam, you're going to the brig. Oh, yeah, because I picked Tomahawk as number one. I was threatened behind the scenes in one of the group chats that I needed to pick Tomahawk. Our Fleet Power is going to come to my house and kill me, so let's play this.
What? Nice.
Olivia Julius, $10. Why do I trust the administrators? It is told that the slow response of the administrators, Ambassador Jeff's slow response leads to the destruction of the moderator's homeworld. Well, Jeff's not really an administrator; he's a moderator. So, just saying. Olivia Julius, $5. Australia isn't real. It's a lie. The administrators tell their children to scare them at night. Ooh, that's good. Eugene, 100 rubles. It's time to choose another commander. This one is broken. Was that because of Nero? Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. It's getting deep in here, Sam. Oh, yeah, see. Yeah. And Starship Odyssey, £2. I disagree. All right, well, what a disappointing way to close out this top 10
Well,
list,
no, look at the live.
It's a fake. You're talking about Nero. Got it. Okay, good.
But I kept a straight face for a while there.
You did, and I didn't believe you for a second of it, but as soon as you're like, I got to change, the picture's too dark. I'm like, he's switching pictures.
I actually wasn't. It was too dark.
Yeah.
Because I worked out because you actually faked your own one. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm definitely doing that now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm good. Once I was
gonna say Narek myself.
Yeah, because once I started getting in the vibe, I can keep bullshitting, and then you started laughing because you just liked what I was saying. I was like, that ruined it for me. I was gonna keep going.
And I was doing like, it's getting deep in here. I'm getting ready to leave.
Oh yeah, no.
Sylvia's over there looking at me, going, "What's going on?"
See, if you hadn't have laughed, we could have kept them going for a long. Because I would have kept lying my ass off.
I know.
I had to think about it because I was JJ us literally, because when we do the JJ us, we had to bullshit like nonsense, but still make it sound believable because there has to be some rationale. Yeah.
Speaking of, we got to release those. Those are funny.
Oh yeah, oh god, those two. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Yeah, young us. We do.
All right, so Should I read the last two super chats? Or
Yes.
should you just give you?
No, super chats and I'll jump in.
Shannon Nash, $5. I am breaking my long silence to disagree with Sam.
Good man. Good.
Julius, $5. Done for the day. You know what that means. It's a break. It's a break.
I like it. Oh, and Vindor says, how Romulan of you. Yeah, there we go. See? Perfect.
Very duplicitous.
No, my number one is the defector himself. He beats Tomahawk. He beats TOS Commander. He wasn't going to. And the more it dwelled, I'm like, he is such a lad. Because I like the fact I had a bullshit bit, so I put a bit more time between your answer and my answer, so I forgot what you said, which is useful. No, he's the guy that was on top of his game. He was an admiral. He was a known butcher or hero, one of the top tier, and yet he chose to. Actually, and we just watched All the President's Men about the the Nixon Watergate stuff, and it was up to the one guy in the FBI who ratted out and was betrayed the government, who got everything going, but he did it for the people. He did it because he couldn't have his conscience. This is that same guy, knowing what he knows, knowing what he's done, knowing how many people he's killed for the right reasons, quote unquote. He had to defect, risk it all, and try and tell the truth when he thought the truth was too much. And given how much internal resentment he has for the idea, and yet total peace with the idea, the duality of the performance is so visible and so astoundingly good. He's so 100% Romulan, and yet so 100% honest for what he's trying to do. If he had just come forward with his real name, it would have helped, but it's so Romulan of him not to.
It's one of his other names.
Well, yes, exactly. That's his Tinder name, because can't be too famous. Yeah, and it's just that and the episode also gives him all the time in the world. I'm assuming he was a known character actor at the time, like well known, because they gave him the entire episode pretty much, like it's his episode. But he uses it and he serves it well. So he's a really interesting because he represents both best of Romulus and best of what we hope Romulus will be. Kind of like Dinatra in a sense. Like she also, in a very similar way, just is not get as much screen time. Tries to do the best of the people, but doesn't go away with it. So I just think, so yeah, my number one then was that guy got the most screen time. I still gave number two the commander in TOS because he's so iconic and he sets the bar so high. And then the third was the Voyager guy, just because he's so in-depthful, but for a different reason. Because they're all different sort of Romulans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your number three was my number 6?
Yes. Yep.
Your number 2 was my number 3?
Yes.
And your number 1 was my number 2?
Yes. And your number 4 was my number 7, which is the Romulan lady from TOS. We shared number 5.
Yes.
Your number 6 was your number 7. Your number 8, Vreenak, was my 6. And your broker was my 8. Your 10. I have Dinatra. I have the Voyager, other Romulan, who are different to you, and you have Sela and Mendak. Apart from that, we're actually the same.
And not Sela. Sela's not on your list. I find that odd.
Wouldn't have even wanted to put her. I wouldn't be in my top 20. I'll be honest. I was very surprised you put her on. I'll be honest.
I figured there'd be a ride if I didn't. So she's just one of the Romulans that pops into mind when I think Romulan. So
I just think Denise Crosby. Sorry.
Well, that's what I was talking about with the acting.
Yeah.
Where you said it actually gives her a chance to act. I was like, does it though? But yeah. And
also, it's funny because I'd said to you at the start I didn't include any halves, and yet you did, and you agree with me. I obviously you said you forgot, but I didn't include halves for a reason, because there are better Romulans that are full Romulan, etc. I'm really surprised. I'm surprised with such a similar list. I was expecting more differences, but since there is such a plethora of interesting ones, that shows how memorable they are. Because there could have been a different list, What do you guys think? Wow.
Yeah. Well, we got some super chats here.
Super duper.
Olivia Julia chats even. Yeah. Olivia Julia's $5. Crashed a wedding reception. Stole something great. It's a cake.
I didn't
Pops with
see that coming. I did.
$2. It's a fake.
Yes, it was. But
I'm
sure
Sylvia's going to go upstairs and bake.
And she'll fake later with you.
Oh. That was good though.
And then she'll have to.
I gotta give you kudos for that.
And then she'll have to master bake later.
Master. Ooh. God damn. No roasted by the commander. Good job.
Thank you. What do you guys think? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, and let's get another 2 likes at least with 180. We still haven't hit the 200 we wanted, so can we get to 200?
Ooh.
Hit that like button if you haven't, guys. Let's see how high we can get. Yeah.
$16. I'll be conservative. 16. That's 3 5s, then 1.
For God's sake, says Sean O'Neill. Yeah, it was getting bad in here.
Good bad. But this is fun, guys. You guys absolutely came through for us, which is great. As you can imagine, our first post Discovery month has been a little bit more rough. Great for free time, though, Stuart, but not good for the other side of it. But it's been nice to do other stuff for a bit. We've had lots of good other filming.
Did you hear that the Bill Campbell is back? He's going to be playing his character from whatever in Prodigy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is great to hear.
2 actors that have spilled the beans, but good for them because there's a good one-offs because it shows they're going to bring back lots more random regulars because
gives me better hope for that show. I think.
Yeah, it was if not for it to slide down in quality because they're being put under studio pressure. Season 1 was a knockout of the park. Don't change it much. Just have more good ideas.
No, what do you mean season 1?
Of Lower Decks. Oh, Prodigy.
They're going to be on Prodigy.
Oh, I thought it was Lower Decks.
Nope, Prodigy.
Oh, I read that wrong. Oh, what? Why is he... That doesn't make much sense. Okay. So I thought Lower Decks... Everyone makes sense in Lower Decks. Oh.
It would be great on Lower Decks. His character fit right in. But,
weird.
Sean Corpier, $2. Top 10 cardies. Are there enough spoonheads? If we do that one, I'm just gonna start with a spoon taped to my head.
There are enough, but it would be a much more similar list. I mean, this was very similar too. So I guess either way, you're gonna.
Oh, yeah. There's only one number 1.
Yeah.
I'll say it right now. It's Ducat, hands down.
Mark Alemo as Ducat, yeah, because he gives that such a zazz.
Yep.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of depth to that character.
And I mean, you've got to say Damar's number 2. Like there isn't. Garrick. It's Ducat, Garrick, and Damar 1, 2, and 3. There really isn't much debate really.
Yeah.
So, but 3 to 7, 4 to 7. That's still a.
Top 10 hybrids, half Vulcan or half human, half whatever. There you go. Hybrids is such a bad term though.
I'd thought that in the middle, but I thought it was a bit insensitive a topic to do.
Top 10 halflings.
Yeah, it feels a bit weird to have one like that.
Squadron course, $2. How about a top 10 MSDs?
Would people join in for that?
Top 10 user interface, computer interface. We should just go back and look at our old top 10 lists.
Oh yeah. No, and the fact is, AR things have changed in the last 3 to 4 years, and we've now got many things in Lower Decks, Picard, Discovery, and Discovery, because all 3 seasons are radically different. So,
a lot more things. Yes. Olivia Julius, $2. How do I stop my semi? It's a break.
Or Master Bake. I mean, either one works. $7 more, guys. $7 more, or we can call it crits. Because lovely. It'd be great to round up. Oh, yeah.
185 likes. Can we get 5 more to 190?
Or 15.
Or hit that 200. Come on.
So close.
Hit like. You know you're out there and you haven't done it.
And Dave L, or even 10 cardies. Yeah, there are 10 Cardassians. You've got the 3 Serpents from DS9. You've got Seska. You've got the other Markalemo. You've got... Yeah, there's a good couple. You got the war criminal that deals with, you know, Kira's best episode, whatever. Everyone loves it. That one. War criminal guy. You got Kira's dad. You know, the fake Kira's dad guy. He's great. Yeah, you got loads. I mean, they're all like one-offs, as is very much the Romulans. But yeah, this has been a good discussion, Stuart. Nice to celebrate the oldies.
Yes. And guys, don't forget about the last super chat slot. If you want to snipe for it, go for it. Pull out your rifles.
Ooh, goodness.
Your super chat rifles and Fleet Pass fifth back $2. Top 10 Jeffrey Combs or Vaughn Armstrong episodes.
That's
Vaughn Armstrong.
Admiral Forrest / Voyager guy.
Yes.
See, I appreciate you said it that way, because if you did it just with his characters, then there wouldn't be 10. There'd be almost 10 for each. But episodes is good, because then you could vary. That's a good idea, actually. Because they've obviously just Forrest has like 7, so already you can obviously have him mostly, but it's only one-off. So that's a good idea. I like that.
Sean Corpier, $2. Quark's ex-girlfriend.
Wasn't that a Klingon?
What's his ex-wife?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Did he?
Top 10 holograms.
That's good.
Do top 10 holodeck episodes. That'd be good.
Stuart, write that one down. That'd be popular.
Top 10 holodeck episodes.
12 more likes. Come on, guys. 12 more. 12! Although Captain Shannon says top 10 Mirror Universe episodes. A, there isn't 10, unfortunately. And B, easy winners. You know.
Yeah.
That's not really, DS9 at the bottom. And then, I don't know, would you put Into Mirror over Mirror?
Yeah.
And that's radical, because you're TOS man.
Unfortunately, I would. Yeah.
But it's close. But 2 for the price of 1, and they have more fun.
And I'd have to put Living Witness on there too, because that's pretty much Mirror Universe.
It's also one of the best Voyager episodes, like in general. Yeah. Like it's a really, really good episode.
Matt Boardman though, snipes. $2 snipe. Thank you very much, Matt. And
so dangerous, that thing.
Squadron Course, $2. Top 10 one-off alien races. Ooh. Top 10 one-hit wonder races should be called.
Although, let's be honest, that could be for all the shows, because there are 10 for each. Because that would be too many to pick. That'd be 1 from each show. As in one top 10 from each show. So top 10 Voyager one-offs, top 10 TNG.
We'd have to look at each episode. Oh my god, no, that'd be too hard.
Well, it's one of those ones where we would say, "Oh damn it, why don't we pick that?" Sort of one. But we would have very different lists, I'm assuming. 9 more likes. 9.
Oh, we got 9 more people out there that haven't hit like.
We do.
Hit like.
We do.
Captain Shannon Murphy says Trekyards top 10 Borg episodes, please. That's a good one. That's a good idea.
That's a good one. Because that I think would be very different.
Or top 10 time travel episodes.
Yeah, I think we may have done that already, but that also sounds very good.
Sean Corpier, $2. Top 10 Star Trek characters. Ooh, that's a... Ooh.
That would be controversial as all hell.
Yep. George Nees, all mine would be TOS. I'm just kidding. George Nees, €2. Top 10 Enterprise D, Core Breach. Jumps by Geordi.
Oh, yeah. And we did
top 10 failed Geordi romances.
Yes. So if you want to see top 10 Trekyards time travel stories, then search Trekyards top 10 time travel stories. Released March 12th, 2016. Stuart's hair looks extremely similar. You're in a lovely button-down shirt, very bright. My hair is cut, but not that much. I've got my grey bad lighting. You're much more, your frame rate is a bit crap. Do you want to know? Do you want to know your top 10? Do you want to know your top 5? So I can tell you your top 5 right now.
Sure.
Okay. Although I think they will have changed because when we have 10, this is a little bit different. But yeah, our list was very different. So, for what that's worth, I don't even know. I picked the same list, to be honest. Huh.
Well, we'll try to do a top 10 every week, maybe, yeah, at least once a week, and then of course episode reviews, and yeah.
Well,
anyway, guys.
Well, if we get these numbers, this is a sustainable thing, which we do need. So, but 7 more likes, please.
200.
Please.
Just sit here and wait till everybody gets to 200.
Like Spike. And yes, top 10 continuity errors. We did do that as well, but that is a mountain of fun. I think either number 1, number 2 was Kirk's blood thing. I was like, that's such a small thing, Stu. And you're like, yes, I know, but I love it.
That shouldn't be a top 10, though. That should just be a live discussion. Continuity errors. Just bring them up. You guys bring them up in the chat. We talk about them.
Well,
That'd be great.
I would still do images because that's a good way of focusing it, but just discussion, yeah. Like we bring 10 each, 15 each, just like no order, just you mention one, we talk about it. If it's on our same list, we at the same time. That's a good idea. Like I wouldn't want to order those for that, but yeah. Just chat. 5 more likes. 5. Dan says top 10 explosions. Well, I think all of them are just bird of prey. Every bird of prey explosion.
Yeah.
That's the top 10.
Top 10 hero ships blowing up. Or crashing.
Oi.
Yeah. Hero ship destructions. There you go.
Well, Cerritos would definitely get up right up that list now with its epic end of. You know.
It also qualify for best top 10 holodeck episodes.
Possibly. That's a tricky one. Yeah. Ooh, Squadron Course. Boo. Boo. It's one size. Except it isn't.
5 more likes, guys.
Top 5 likes for Trekyards. Wait, what? Yes, Ezras, please do. Top 10 guest actors? Yeah. But again, that would be so broad. But at that point, though, it's kind of like just the pure gut reaction. Like, no research, just what do we say? You know? No, you should actually write that down, because that will be a different list. Like, we will not have the same list.
Top 10 what?
Top 10 guest actors, with a caveat at the start. We've done no research. These are purely 10 that have jumped off our minds. Like, what 10 stand out to us? Because there's too many. There's hundreds. Probably thousands.
Well, the first one that pops to my mind is Ashley Judd. Lieutenant Leffler. She's so good in that role.
But what is
one that pops to my mind? How weird is that?
Yeah. But what isn't weird is 5 more likes, guys. 5.
Sean Cortier, top 10 Burnham to the rescues. Oh, good God.
I mean, saving all of the universe. That's got to be number 1, right? Saving
Which time?
Well, the one with the universe. All of the universe and time and space, yeah. Oh, dear.
Well, I don't think we're going to... we got 4 more likes, but I don't think we're going to get them. I got to go get some food, so...
It's true. Also, top 10 two-parters. Write that down. That's a good one, too.
Holy shit. We got lots of ideas, which is awesome.
It is.
Two-parters.
Well, this is why you guys are part of the discussion. But seriously, thanks for the super chats, guys. It does give us the confidence. And do tune in for... on our Saturday, we've got a few more cool ship discussion things. And then, we've only got a few left. And then you'll start to see the new content roll out. Winky, winky. Including new LCARs. For all sorts of things. That'll be exciting. And so it'll be a refresh kind of all at one time. Which will be fun.
And join me on Friday night for my Truth or Drink. They've been very popular. I've done 2 weeks in a row now, and they've been really fun. I might mix it up this week, and instead of do a Truth or Drink, do a Would you rather? Would you rather or drink? You know those Would you rather questions? Or would you rather answer that question, or have to pick one, or drink? I mean, we'll see how it goes, but tune in for those because those are real.
Funny thing is, just asking political questions. You'd be like, I don't know that. Drink. Hot bud social issues. I don't care. Drink. It's like, don't talk about that. And let's just, we need 1 more like. You can be the last like. Our drunk live. We are coming up on that. We did promise one in February, and since we're not doing one this weekend, probably going to be the weekend after if Stuart is available, either 27th or 28th. I think we tend to do them on the Saturday, the 27th-ish, so assuming Stuart knows he's free. Not exactly sure the topic, but we'll probably also look at our Christmas presents a little bit, which is a little bit late now, but we've been busy doing other stuff, as well as having a chill out. I'm sure I'll do some costume stuff, maybe talk about some fan film stuff, and that'd be a really great way to end the month, and help us out and have some fun. And you guys should also take some drinks too. Maybe your comments will get more and more tipsy, and that can be part of the fun. So tune in for that.
200 likes. We hit it. And Sean Corpier, $2, top 10 Tilly shots. Yes. Olivia Julius, $2, top 10 one-liners. Ooh, that's a good one.
And Vampire Terrorist is sexist, lol. Female should have been... Instant should have been number 1. I mean, she's in both of our top whatevers. I think we had like 6 women between us as top 10, so... Hey. Did a lot of
between us last time we were together. Remember that? No, or are you too drunk?
Well, I think you were high and I was asleep, so I think it was nothing like that. High on Star Trek, Stuart. High on Star Trek, I mean.
That being said, Olivia Julius has the last super chat slot, so thank you so much, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, he's Commander Cockings, which makes him a captain for this episode.
And your Vice Chancellor of the Imperial High Order, Foley.
That's right. Until next time, guys. See
Bye,
ya.
guys.